Yaakov in this week Parsha wants to reveal the Kei Tzayomin. Wants to reveal what's gonna happen in the Achri Sayomin, what's gonna happen in the end of the days. Baruch Atah Adonai Moshel Shakom Yidvorei. Amen. What's gonna happen in the end of the days? And we see that the first one who he calls, it's a Yosef HaTzadik. He calls his son Yosef. And even that he speaks to him, like, and he tells him about the burial, and he says that it's about the time that he's about to pass away, and he wants to give a brocha to his son Yosef, but like a little bit deeper means that he is the first one who he wants to reveal the secret of the Geula, secret of the redemption, what's going to happen at the end of the days. And the question is, why specifically Yosef, and why just now? So in order to understand that, we have to look into their relationship, and the relationship between Yaakov and Yosef. And we see that the Yaakov, it says that the Yaakov, he taught to Yosef everything what he learned in a base Shem and Ever, everything what he learned in yeshiva. But nevertheless, this knowledge which he gave him, it was just a theory. It wasn't a theoretical level. It was a limud. It was a nice learning. But nevertheless, till he doesn't say to Yosef that he has to go and he has to look where his brothers is, which means that he kind of throws him into the pit. He really throws him to the brothers, and he knows that his brothers, they don't like him. But nevertheless, he knows that that's the only way how to bring this theory on a practical level. That's how Yosef gonna bring his theory, which he learned from Yaakov, in the life. And little by little, Yosef grows up from the slave. He gets he grows into a king, into a second person in country. And we see over here that Yosef teaches us like this, that there are two types of students, which means that sometimes a student, he comes to the shir, he comes to the lesson, and he understands everything, and he could quote everything what he heard at the shir from the rabbi, and it was like a word by word, step by step. But not necessarily that when it's gonna come to another material in Gemara, Chassidus, whatever he learns, if he gonna be able to use that what he learned in the shir. Not necessarily he's gonna be able to make it with that something. With regards to that particular shir, yeah, he remembers everything. But with regards to something else, he might not know how to apply. Nevertheless, there is another type of student who comes to the shir and he doesn't understand everything, doesn't understand exactly what was the details of the question, of the answer, but he knows he catches the system, he catches the principles. He knows where the question is and what's the proper way to ask the question, where is the answer, and how to get there, like in some sort of way. And that's where Yosef represents. Yosef, he was the one who didn't just catch the theory on the level that whatever Yaakov told me, that's what it is. But he catched it on a way of principles. Also in a way of principles, which means that when he went into life, not everything in life is the same way as it's written, and as you're gonna learn in the Torah about it. Which means that the Torah, obviously, Torah gives you rules, gives you principles. But sometimes, the moment you know the principles, then you could apply it to life. If you know it, the Torah just stale, you don't know the principle, you know the information, but you don't know what to do with it, you don't know how to apply it on a practical level, not always is going to help you. And sometimes it's going to contradict, because you're going to get to the world and you're going to start behave with the rules of the world, because you have information of Torah, but you don't know how to apply it. That's why it's important to learn what a Torah wants, which means what's the desire of Torah, what a Torah seeks, and what it wants to teach us, what's the oiro from the Torah, what it's trying to give us a message, and to learn those principles, because then you're going to be able to apply it in any type of situation. So when Yaakov see the Yosef, when he meets again the Yosef, he see that the Yosef, he was able to go. He was able to go through the test. He was able to take the Torah on a practical level, and not just that he stayed religious, but he also brought the Judaism to his kids, and his kids are also religious. That's why he wants to bless them in the first place. Because the family of Yaakov, everybody else, they come in kind of on a second plan. Because they lived in a Frum city, they lived over there, wherever, in Eretz in Borough Park, and everybody is religious. But here he comes to Yosef, he comes to Manhattan, and he sees that his son made it over here, and not just him, but also family, and they, Frum and everything, That's it. That's the guy who is proper to get the brocha. So now the thing is like this, that we know that Mashiach comes, nevertheless Mashiach doesn't come from Yosef. Mashiach comes from Yehuda. And Yehuda, he is the king of the other tribes. Which means that Yosef, he is the king, he might be a king of a country in the world, not just the country, but the biggest country. But nevertheless, the king of the tribe of the Jewish tribes, that's the Yehuda. And ultimately, he's also king of the world, Yehuda. And Mashiach comes from him. And he see that other tribes, they're not ready yet for such information to be revealed, to this information be revealed, to the secret of the redemption. Why? And like exactly how is it? Why it is that? It's a sosum. It's concealed. The parsha itself is concealed. It's hard to understand why, but nevertheless, it seems like they're not ready. Which means that in Gemara there is a different type of expressions of why Mashiach doesn't come at a certain amount of a time. Which means like it kind of seems based on the time that it's a good occasion, but nevertheless it's not bepoil, it's not happening. Like for example, it says sometimes that if the leader of generation is ready, but the generation is not ready, it's not coming. Or sometimes generation are ready, but in time it didn't came yet. Okay, whatever case might be, because the whole thing is that the Zohar says that Mashiach comes even when the leader of one community or the whole community, they do tshuva, if even one community, but totally, completely tshuva, then Mashiach comes right away. And nowadays, where we understand from that we still have some job to do, and after so many generations, we still are finishing this last sparks. And obviously that the Rebbe, he brought the world to the bigger understanding and bigger closeness to the redemption. Because he did everything is possible, not just that some particular person should be understanding what the secret of redemption is, because that's where Yosef was. Yosef, yeah, he knew what's the secret of redemption. He knew how to get to the leader of the country, to be the head of the country, to be a king of the country, but to stay religious. Which means for him, that was his personal redemption. But he was the only one. He was not interested to share it with brothers. And as we see that there was some kind of misunderstanding between him and brothers. Because he was happy for himself. He knew that he has a talent. A father chose him as a talented son. And that's it. He was not interested in like sharing it with others. But Yehuda constantly wanted to see how he able to affect not just that he by himself, obviously also by himself has to know what's the message, but also to bring it to other people. And just a small story, we see like when we was in Philadelphia for Hanukkah. So it was that we were standing over there by the Independence Hall, and different types of people would pass by, and Jews, non-Jews. But then one guy was passing by, and he said he looked like a Mexican. And he said, even I look like a Mexican, but he said, I'm Jewish. We asked him if he's Jewish. He said because his mother is Jewish, but he grew in somehow, maybe it was not his family, but he grew in a Catholic family, or whatever it is. But his mother is Jewish. And he said that the one thing which he remembers from home, it's something where his mother taught him is, like this. He took the paper and he wrote on the paper the thing. And he wrote Moshiach. That's the only letters, like, the way like you write in the Torah, that's the...
Can you pass around?
That's the actual paper?
That's the actual paper.
That the actual guy you met wrote?
Yeah, because so from here you see that's the essence. Maybe he's not even understand like what it means, but that's the essence. That's a small one thing. And the second story is that when it was after Yutes Kislev, right? So we went after Shabbos. We went to the oil, and we went afterwards to Crown Heights, right? You remember, yeah? Sunday we went to Crown Heights. So no. After Yutes Kislev,
Okay.
yeah. So we went over there, and what happened was that we went to lunch in some place, some shawarma place, whatever it is, and it was over there. It was the students from certain university, and they obviously also had some kind of trip. There was like, or they also was for Shabbos over there in Granite, and happened to be so. We was over here, we were sitting here, and they were sitting right here, and each one of them they would say their experience about what they saw, because obviously they're not religious. They saw like maybe first time whatever it is, like first of their experience in the religious world, in the religious city. So each one would say it was the end of the trip. So each one would say his impressions. So it was interesting that one girl, she said that they went also to Judaica store, and she heard that it was some religious girl in that store, and she was talking on the phone, and she said that the things which this girl was talking on the phone, she said it's the same things that I speak on the phone with my friends. Which means from the outside, from the Hitzonius, you could see that, oh, it's a religious city, maybe, they different than us, like people who are kind of concealed, they have a certain, borders, fences, and obviously that's what it is. It is this aspect of that. But nevertheless, when you're getting in it and you're starting to experiencing it and tasting it, you understand, like this girl, she understood that the way this religious girl speaks with her friends, it's not any different than she speaks about it with her friends. Again, that doesn't mean that it was something bad. It means like good things. Just she would think that maybe she speaks about, I don't know, like some kind of angels or something, like, Sroifim Chayes. No, she speaks about regular concepts that whatever girl would speak with her friend. But on top of that, she's also religious. She behaves according to Torah and mitzvahs. And that's what it means that Rebbe taught us that you have to look on this world on a kosher often, in a kosher way. You don't have to break this world, you don't have to run away from this world, but you have to go in the world and to do this last refinement. So Bez Hashem's Barak, we should be able to zoiche, to Geula, take it Me'ad Mamish, with the Moshiach Tzidkeinu, and with the rebuilding the Beis HaMikdash, V'hera V'meinu, Amen.
Amen.
Good.